Hi everyone! A few months ago I visited Barcelona and I wanted to share some of the books that I got there with you. Out of all of the bookstores that I visited, the ones that I liked the most were La Central and Sendak bookstore. La Central had an amazing selection of art books in English that were quite up to date with the US and the UK market, so I had a lovely time browsing through the books. I was looking for María Herreros' book, A History of a Young Girl Afraid of Becoming a Woman, all over the town, but I couldn't find it anywhere, and I found the last copy here in La Central. So I'm thinking it as a sign that her books are selling quite well, I hope. I have been admiring Maria's work for a really long time, and to have her art in a book form now means a lot to me. In her visually striking but also very raw book, Maria talks about growing up in the 80s as a young girl and a young woman, and what it encompassed for her, such as eating disorder, conflict with her identity, trauma, social norms and stereotypes. In one of the bookstores that I visited, they had a nice selection of picture books in English, and there I found Miroslav Šašek's picture book, This is Paris. It's really nice to finally see his artwork on paper and not just digitally on Instagram and Pinterest. I really appreciate his depiction of people, animals and objects, the textures that he creates with gouache that feel really unique to me. His dynamic design, his use of line and shape are a well of inspiration to me. At the end of my stay in Barcelona, I finally visited the magical Sendak bookstore. This is a bookstore filled to the brim with books, comic books and picture books from all around the world. The atmosphere of the bookstore is really sweet and inviting. There I bought 2 comic books. I have been wanting to get into comic books for the longest time, but I just couldn't find any that spoke to me visually as well as text-wise. One of the main reasons I got into comic books was because of the style of drawing, which to me is a perfect combination of representational, more structural drawing and stylization. Studying from this artist is also helpful as my own style has been evolving and I have been studying more realistic drawing. So the first comic book is by the illustrator, animator and author Thomas Wellmann. You might know his work from Summer Camp Island series. That's how I got to know about him. Pimo and Rex is a compilation of adventure stories about 2 best friends, Pimo and Rex. Thomas builds his characters up so well that you instantly fall in love with them. I don't know who I love more, Pimo or Rex. To be honest, I'm going to choose Pimo just because he cracks me up throughout the whole comic book. Thomas's use of color is something I especially enjoy, as well as his character design and ability to create mesmerizing visual dynamics. I love how there are spot illustrations and full-page illustrations incorporated between the chapters. And the last comic book I got is called The Space Charter by the French-Canadian author, illustrator and comic book artist Guillaume Perreault. This book is all about the space adventures of the space bossman Bob. His work is new to me, but I instantly fell in love with the quirkiness of his characters, his gorgeous backgrounds and his impeccable attention to detail. I love that he drew himself on the first page of the comic book. His use of color just makes me feel so good, as simple as that sounds. So these are all of the books that I got. I'm really glad I could share them with you, and in the next video I'm going to be sharing some more of my favorite picture books. So see you then, bye!